Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great, whether it be night or day wherever you are. If you're new, hi, welcome to the channel. And realms, am I glad that you can join us today for another story that I wrote, which is a Kenma ex-listener. As always, links for the music used in this video will be down below, and further announcements will be said after the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Breathe in, breathe out. Another gulp of air, and there, finally done. Jeez, that took longer than I expected. You said, wheezing out the latter half. Oh, for realm's sake, what time was it? You eyeballed the clock on your desk and even had to slightly squint through the blur due to the strain that your eyes had taken from focusing on one thing for too long. It seemed like your schedule these days had been far too inchoate to a fault. It did not help in the very least that the birds outside seemed to find this a stupidly flawless time to sing a chorus of tweets, as if to further establish how bad you messed up your sleep. You glared out your window, but the winged choir paid no heed to your request. It was too early in the morning for this, sure, but in your defense, you had an exception, as in your case, it was the end of yours. 6 a.m. Thank realms, it was a Saturday. But, shoot, I had to go meet up with Kyoko. You reminded yourself, patterned with the sound of your laptop finally being granted its overdue request of being shut. The door to your right squeaked its hinges in protest as someone decided to enter your room. You would have normally tried your best to look welcoming, but that was the very least of your concerns right now. It had been quite a while since you and Kyoko even bonded. Realms, when was the last time? Graduation? It was hard, counting for the fact that you two didn't even go to the same schools, and especially in the latter when things got pretty tight in your schedules. It was easier then, as you used to kind of manage Nekama's volleyball team here and there, but now, there just wasn't enough time to do much. Breathe in, breathe out. Listener, breathe. There was so much to do, and yet it feels like the days were filled with so little time. Was this what adulting meant? Having to deal with a daily feeling where time just seems so dragging, and yet, due to the amount of work piled around you, it just never seems enough. Your mind was about to take another deep dive into the endless list of work before you felt a hand slowly place itself upon your shoulder. The comforting ruffled sound of your shirt against someone's palm seemed to calm you, making you look up to whoever the limb might belong to.
Listener,
he muttered, looking down at you with curious eyes. It didn't seem to match yours though, albeit having probably been up for quite a while himself, as Kenma simply glanced down.
You look bad,
he muttered. You froze at the statement and sent a glare his way. Wow, you know just what I wanted to hear at daybreak. Real smooth with your words there, Pudding. You spat sarcastically, making him tilt his head in confusion.
I'm only stating what I see.
He said, and albeit in a serious tone, with a smile as he ruffled your hair. You wished you could send back a witty remark yourself, but with how he was, clad in a comfortable oversized jacket, some shorts, and a pair of earphones still hanging on his neck that sort of reminded you of a certain blonde from Karasuno back in the days, he didn't look half as bad himself, or rather as to what you could have been blessing his sights with. The humor of the situation calmed you a bit as you took in another breath. Kenma took a look at the paper sprawled on your desk, or rather, on the contrary, what was left of it to be seen anyways with the rest of the junk here and there. An empty water bottle, an overheated lamp and laptop, and a phone that was clinging on to its last battery percent. Safe to say, you have seen better days. I know, you don't have to say it, your look says it all. You said, holding the hand on your shoulder. Usually I would be the one telling you to go and eat or take a rest, but on the contrary, I had good reason for it this time. Unlike our high school days, I'm actually working to earn stuff, so I can't just slack off or play around when I'm actually swamped because I'd simply be cheating myself. Kenma stared at you blankly before grabbing the water bottle.
When's the last time you refilled this?
He asked, only to be met with a flurry of, ちょっとa minute, I can't explain. He then pressed a foot down to open the trash bin beside you, knowing full well of what to expect. He didn't even need to take a long look before pointing to a bunch of empty wrappers and chip bags. Right, maybe I can't explain. You chuckled nervously. He could have had every reason to give you quite the mouthful, just as you always would if he was in that state. But this time, instead of giving you a stern warning, he simply took a hold of your hands and, "Hey, ow! What gives?" You yelped in retaliation as you drew them back towards yourself, nursing the hand that he had just sent another flick towards. "And you say I'm mean," you grumbled. You didn't let on though, as you were far too tired and simply dropped your head onto his stomach, conveniently just before you, now that you have decided to face him. Ah yes. Now this felt like heaven. Kenma found a smile creeping up his lips as well, hearing the small mewls coming from you. Truthfully, he was too tired as he had just finished up a stream himself. But he could only imagine you, on the other hand. Kenma was in thought. When was the last proper meal you even had? The one from last night? Maybe even yesterday's lunch? Kenma simply gave your hair a small rub, but this time it was a lot more gentler, as if to comfort you. After all, he was proud of you working hard. But really...
Listen.
Oh shoot! Your outburst shook him in surprise, along with how you clutched onto his jacket. His eyes mirrored yours, wide and in panic, as you suddenly remembered. Kyoko, I really have to get ready. We meet up at 8 and I still have to take the train and get something for... You spoke quickly, rushing to at least get a few of the things organized on your table than the storm that you had left it. Kenma usually left you to your devices when you were like this, but this time he really couldn't. His hold went back to your shoulder, then to your hands.
Listener, seriously.
He started. Now he sympathized with what Kuro had to put up with whenever he had to stop Kenma from gaming even just to eat. This time, aside from that, he also had to deal with someone who could have beaten Shoyo at his determination when they were hyper-focused on one thing. Kenma took off his jacket and put it over your head as if to tell you to put it on.
You're not going anywhere.
Wait, what did he just say? You balled up the jacket and threw it back at him.
If I wait around any longer, then probably, as I would miss a train and be even more late. You can't stop me putting it.
Your words trailed as when you tried to stand up, the only direction that you could go was straight back down, promptly losing your balance.
I'm not the one who's gonna be keeping you around. That fever is.
Kenma explained. He didn't even bother to wait for your protests, as he was already headed out the door. Inevitably, for some reason, you felt like you had to go and follow him too.
Hey, wait, where are you going? Oh.
You paused as he opened the cabinet in the kitchen and pulled out some medicines.
Here, take this. It'll help before the fever worsens,
he said, pouring water as well.
Hey, I'm fine, really.
His deadpan made you want to take back your statement, but you still didn't think that the medicine was all that necessary. With how long you two had been together, he knew that arguing with you head-on would have been futile. So, instead, he simply pocketed the medicine and carried the glass over to the couch with him. Did he want you to sleep or something? Because if so, the couch really isn't all that tempting.
Kyoko said to tell you, since you kept your phone silent, that she needed to cancel last minute, and to tell you that she's really sorry. Something about Tanaka suddenly dragging her for something.
Kenma explained.
So you really have no excuse to overwork yourself more.
Oh, so that's why he went into your room. And here you thought he was uncharacteristically trying to sleep more. You should have known that the world would simply probably end first before him and a healthy sleeping schedule would have been acquainted. You saw him eye you and pat the couch.
Well, in that case, I'm going back to work.
The familiar sound of a game starting up caught your attention as you two rushed towards the couch.
On second thought, does this mean I can play too?
You quipped. Well, seeing as your plans for the day have been cancelled, why not, right?
And get snot on my controller when your nose starts inevitably running. I don't think so.
He deadpanned.
Hey, is it just me or are you getting snarkier?
As you muttered out complaints, he couldn't help but smile. In reality, he simply knew that if you got into a game and get too hyped up, well, the rest can definitely say goodbye. But if he didn't keep you around, you would simply go right back. Besides, as much as, or rather, as little as he verbalized it, he missed you a lot. Kenma grabbed the controller as he saw you reach for it.
No, listener. Rest.
I've scolded you one too many times, and you seem to have actually grasped the concept of self-care, huh? I don't like it being turned on me. Okay, one game. Please?
You then bargained.
Then I'll take the medicine.
Kenma paused at that. He reached for a glass of water on the couch before pulling out the medicine from his pocket once more.
You can drink the medicine and watch me play.
Scared of losing to a sick person?
You teased, hoping that if you get him fired up enough, he'll actually cave in. He isn't really competitive at a lot of things, but when it came to his passion for games, maybe you could push the right buttons to your advantage.
That's not gonna work, listener.
He said as he simply handed you the medicine and water. You sighed in defeat before drinking it, knowing any further protest would fall upon deaf ears. Kenma was finally satisfied when you opened your mouth to show him that it had really gone down the hatch, making him confident enough to finish setting up the game. You drooped onto the couch, although you still couldn't help but smile though. You were happy that he was becoming more and more comfortable with you through the years. He's gone a long way from being as wary and timid as he was around you the first time that you had met.
Hi, I'm Listener. Nice to meet you. I'm apparently your dorm mate, I guess?
You tried to laugh off slightly to help break the ice. You didn't really think you'd be having anyone to share the place with, much less a boy.
Oh, I'm Kenma.
Is that your last name?
You laughed awkwardly once more. He paused for a while, eyes slightly widening at how that sentence and you reminded him of a friend and how they too had met.
No, it's Kenma, Kozume.
He said, looking at you. You had a smile that time that reminded him of Shoyo as well. Was it that which made him instantly feel at ease around you? Well, whatever it was, both of you could definitely come into agreement that you were glad of how things worked out. Kenma's eyes glanced to you slightly, who was completely unaware of this. Still sulking, but glad to finally be spending time with him. Recently, your stuff had been piling up, and Kenma had also been swamped. The launch of the new game Kenma's company developed had kept him occupied up to this point and recent. Both of you really got busy and needed a break. Kenma's glance seemed less and less subtle, but you were still ever so oblivious to it all before he reached out one of his hands to pull you closer and rest your head upon his lap. With a slight oomph as you collided with him, you snuggled in contentment.
I thought you didn't want snot to get on your controller, but you're fine with it going on your leg, your shorts.
You teased. His fingers paused moving before big golden cat-like eyes met yours as he suddenly averted it once more. It shifted back to the screen in a shy manner, which just, unfortunately for him, gave you a slight view of his reddening face.
Okay, I'll stop teasing. I won't tease further. I just like being here with you.
Kenma sighed and reached beside him before blocking your view with an oh-so-familiar shape.
One game, then you rest.
You shot up faster than he could grab it and regret his decision.
Get ready to be floored by a sick person.
Kenma smiled and leaned your forehead down to give it a small peck. As much as he had hoped you would take it easy, he knew that neither was gonna have fun in that.
I'm counting on it, kitty.
Patterned with the sound of your laptop finally being granted, making him still that. You.
That is rain. I don't know.
Before pointing to a necessary? What?
Let's just stick with necessary for now. I'm sorry.
He knew arguing with you a lot. Where was I? Oh my. He simply pocketed the medicine as you two rushed to the nap. You didn't really think you would be happy. It shifted. Oh my, why is that? Hello? Okay, that's it. Okay, so that was it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, as I am posting 2 to 3 times a week on regular scheduling, and again, links will be in the description down below, and also my Discord tag in the about page of my YT if you want to interact, because I'm mostly there. I've been inactive recently figuring out some stuff, which was why I hadn't been posting much, but as well as the vocal rest, which was due for quite some time. But aside from that, if you have any original stories that you would like me to read, as long as I have permissions, or maybe you have requests for some characters or scenarios, just DM me or place it in the comments down below, and I would definitely love to read them. And, or make stories out of them. Yeah, okay, that's really it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay hydrated, stay safe. Bye.